Good morning, good evening, or buenas tardes, wherever you are. First, I want to speak today. I decided to make another video. I decided to speak today, first of all, to thank everybody that decided to follow me. And I can assure you, I'm not doing this for the fame. I'm not doing this to become known or whatsoever. I'm just doing that for what I believe. I always been taught to say what I believe in and to fight what I believe in. And this is what I'm doing. So I would like to thank you all that followed me. And I would like to thank everybody that insulted me. I accept that. I thank you very much. And if you're insulting me, that means I've touched a nerve. That means I've said something you didn't like, and that means I'm making my job correctly. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now to get to the actual subject that I want to talk about radicalism. I'm going to talk about Islamist radicalism. I'm going to narrow it down because I made another video and it was too vague. Now I'm going to narrow it down. I'm going to talk of what's happening now as an example. I'm going to take it as an example what is happening now in Gaza and Lebanon and with Palestinians, Hamas. I mean, all this shebang. First of all, radicalism, let it be Islamic, let it be Christian, let it be Protestant, let it be Mennonite, let it be whatever you want to call it, it's still a radical. It's still radical equals extremism, and this is what we must fight for. Now we're going to talk about our subject, current subject that is happening now in the world. What's happening now in the world is that we have radicals, Islamist radicals, that decided on the 7th of October to do the unthinkable. I don't understand why they did it. I'm still trying to cope, and people yet tell me that it's because they have it's because they had enough, so they're fighting like their last breath. I even have somebody that told me they are fighting like kamikaze. What are you talking about, kamikaze? It is. Anyways, all I want to say is they went into the houses. Yes, they attacked army barracks of the IDF, and that I have no problem with. I understand if they attack barracks of the IDF. The army, a person who goes in the army, especially in Israel, he knows that there is a chance that he might be killed. More than if, for example, he made his service somewhere else in the world. I'm not going to name them because I don't know which country has it or which country doesn't have it. But what it is if they have stuck to that, I would have said, yeah, this is a big coup, this is good, in the sense that, wow, they did good. But as soon as I heard that they started killing babies, killing people, and it's being filmed live, not live, but it's being filmed and streamed live. I mean, imagine, streamed live, and then they have the nerve to say no, it never happened 7th of October. This is the radicalism that I don't like. This is people who are not able to take responsibility of what they did. This is the kind of people that are cowards. This is how they call them, cowards, because they kidnap people. For what? Which, did you see any freedom fighter, a real freedom fighter, go kidnap families? Go kidnap elderlies, go kidnap women, go kidnap babies, go kidnap children. For what? They use them as collateral damage. They use them as a bargaining chip. They used humans as bargaining chip. If you're using humans as bargaining chip, that means you know what's going to happen. You know that you did not do something right. You know what's going to come to you. And on top of that, these same people that did it, the radicals, two of them are outside Gaza, one of them in Qatar, one of them was in Lebanon, and they cut his head off, and there are two left dead men walking. But these people, they said on TV for a Russian TV series, I don't know, and they said plainly that no, they didn't build those tunnels for the people. They build those tunnels for them, for the jihadists, and for the equipment, and for the armaments. That's why they build it. The rest, they don't care. I mean, everybody knows, and this is how he said it. Everybody knows that 75% of Gaza is under the responsibility of the United Nations. 75% of the people of Gaza are not under our responsibility, they are under the responsibility of the United Nations. I mean, I want to ask you something. When you hear that, what do you think? Are these really freedom fighters? Freedom fighters don't attack and make sure that people don't get harmed. They try to do something so people don't get collateral damage as much as possible. No, they didn't care. They don't care. And then people said, no, they didn't use them as human shield. They did, by saying that, not giving them shelter, not preparing them for what's going to happen. That means at least to prepare something to try to avoid this kind of killing that was happening for the past 3 months. And people are going, oh my God, it's a genocide. It's not a genocide, it is war. They declared war. And the people of Hamas did not do anything to protect their own people, and you're celebrating them. Imagine how naive you are, how narrow-minded, how easily we can take you by the nose and get you anywhere you want, anywhere we want. It is absolutely unacceptable what Hamas said. They have a big responsibility of what happened. I'm going to say it again. They have a big responsibility for what's happening in Gaza. And another part, who uses hospitals? Who uses schools? Who uses mosques and churches to fire upon? Or who uses apartment buildings to fire from? And then they said, oh, look what they did, the IDF, they destroyed the whole building. Well, if the fire is coming from there, I'm sorry, it becomes a target. And I never seen an army that says to the population they're going to attack, please move out from here because we're going to attack in 3 hours, 2 hours, or 3 hours, or it's imminent, please tell everybody to get up. Never saw that before. I mean, if they were genocidal, don't you think they wouldn't tell anybody? They just do it. They did tell everybody. They did advise everybody. Pamphlets, everything. They did everything in their power to minimize the death toll. They did everything in their power. What did the Hamas do? They did not build shelters. So they went. They left. Who stopped them? Hamas that stopped them. Again. But no, Hamas didn't do anything. What happened at Nova? Telling me that it's IDF helicopters? Are you dumb or what? Are you dumb or what? Do you think the Israeli will fire when there is people in them amongst the terrorists? They would not fire. They would not fire. And I don't believe it. Because why? Because we know that the Palestinians' propaganda is always lying. It never tells the truth. I'm not saying that Israel is telling the truth all the time. It doesn't. It's a propaganda war. It's war. So let me tell you something. I am absolutely not happy what's happening in Palestine or Gaza or call it whatever you want. I don't care. What's happening to the babies? Absolutely not. Everybody that I talk to, doesn't matter who I talk to, nobody likes it. But didn't you notice that they only show babies, nothing else? Nothing else. Only babies. Why? Propaganda. Gonna say, oh my God, babies. What do you think has been happening for 10, 14 years in Syria, in Iraq? And it's still going on. And not one of you said one word. Not one of you. I'm going to tell you something else. When you say from the river to the sea, that means you want to wipe out all the Jews. And when we have somebody in England and he says like this, he says, We love death more than life. We love death more than life. That means he's willing even to die in England. For whom? Not for England, not for free speech. No. For what? For Islam, their kind of Islam, their radical Islamism. This is who they are. They don't care about you guys. They only care about one thing, that all the countries become Muslims. And some people laughed at me. We laughed too. We laughed too. And look what happened to us Lebanese. Look what happened to the Iraqis. Look what happened to the Iranian. Look what happened to the Syrian. Look what happened to the Yemenis. A lot of them fled because we know how they are. We know how they are. You think like Americans, you think like Westerners, we think like Mediterraneans, we think like Arabs, we think what we lived, we know what we lived, and we know what we are living now. So stop telling me that you are a humanitarian. A true humanitarian does not choose and pick with whom he's going to be a humanitarian, which you are doing 100%, 1,000% you are doing. You are choosing with whom you want to be a humanitarian. When the Kurdish people get killed by the Turks, by the Syrian, by the Iraqis, nobody says anything. Among them, there are babies. Oh yeah, like it's not only the Palestinians that make babies. Everybody makes babies. You should know that. And this is what makes me absolutely furious at you guys. A humanitarian is universal. You cannot choose and pick with whom you want to be humanitarian. When you want to be humanitarian, you do it 100% or you just shut up. So we have those people that are paid by the IRGC to do that work, and they're aware in the Western country, in the United States, several of them, in Australia, in France, in Belgium, Spain, a very well-oiled machine. Very well-oiled machine. They were prepared. Everything was done. And they launched that propaganda. What do you do when you do a propaganda? Didn't you notice that all these people post 100% the same thing? Almost at the same time? Didn't you notice that? Almost at the same time. Everybody have that breaking news. That's what they do. That's what they're paid for. And the part of it is that they're living in those Western countries and using our freedom of speech against us. And you people are giving them the full right to do so. They are talking about killing the United States, killing the Western world. That means your freedom of speech is going to die. Your freedom of the press is going to die. Everything your forefathers, everything that the generation before you and before us fought for are going to disappear. And you are going and saying Hamas are freedom fighters. I'm going to ask you again. Freedom fighters, do they kidnap people? No. Do they kill innocent? Willingly? Innocent. Shouting Allahu Akbar? Do they rape people? No, they don't. A resistance usually attacks military targets, attacks communications. That's what they attack. They don't attack civilians. They don't go into the houses and start shooting and start killing, burning houses, killing dogs just for fun, burning people there inside, going at a festival and killing everybody and everything they see. This is not freedom fighters. When you attack a barrack or you attack a military compound, that's fine. That's what we're expecting you to do. But this what happened on October 7th. The Hamas is responsible for everything now is happening in Gaza. I don't care what you say. My mind is made. Everything that's happening in Gaza right now is also And again, the biggest person or people who are at fault are the Hamas, the jihad, the Islamic jihad. And worst of all, the one who I really am amazed that for 23 years he told us, I'm going to free Israel, I'm going to kill Israel, I'm going to free Palestine. It is not a freedom fighter. Hezbollah abandoned Gaza. Abandoned. He's just holding a little bit the army on the north. Yes, he did nice targets. Lately, he did what he had to do. I'm not going to take that away from him. But what I'm saying is they are cowards because they didn't dare to go into Israel like they promised. You, the people, you can make the difference. I can show you as much as you want, but you still don't believe me. I cannot do much. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not moving. I'm not saying something otherwise. I'm not going to change my mind. I don't care. I do believe for what I'm saying. I will fight for what I'm saying. I will fight for the freedom of Lebanon. Whoever works against Lebanon, he's my enemy, period. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Or we fight together, or we let the Iranian wins. Your choice, not mine. Yours. Thank you.